Hello, this is Internet Personality Ginzaki, bringing you the Midnight Gamers podcast. Again, this is the second take because I'm an idiot.
Hey, not arguing.
Exactly.
I'm just
All right.
laughing at the whole thing.
All right, let's dive right into gaming news. We got, first off, the announcement that Metal Gear Solid 5 will have Solid Snake again, and like I said in the last take, following the story as loosely as I did, I thought that he was dying fast, and he shouldn't have survived much past that game.
In fact, I don't think it was just dying. I think he actually died. So everyone, Metal Gear Solid 5. Looks like Konami's getting in on the whole zombie apocalypse thing. There
That
you go.
or maybe they're just gonna clone him again. Maybe that's how they're gonna keep this series alive.
So
Clones.
are they doing like the freaking Batman thing where they're going to travel back in time and bring him back?
They repeatedly clone Solid Snake, just like they can repeatedly clone the game. So
Either that or it could be a
Oh.
prequel for all we know.
And possible, but the picture I saw looked like it was old Snake. But then again, that might not be a picture from the new thing.
That's
so
probably
I'm
normally never the case. It's normally like an old picture. They'd be like, "Hey, this is coming."
so I'm guessing they've officially given up on Raiden.
No one likes Raiden, so it's a good thing to assume.
Okay, Raiden's going to be an unlockable character in the next Fruit Ninja. There we go. More Solid Snake.
If anything, put Raiden in the new Smash Brothers game.
At least we'll have a purpose.
Never know.
All right, 3 days till Mass Effect 3 Extended Cut DLC. Um, I'm wondering if this will fix the face import bug, because if it doesn't, I'm getting really annoyed having to remake my face every time I want to carry over my Mass Effect 2 data.
Ouch.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I saw that when it came out, like back in March, and I was just like, "Wow, can't have a game go off without a hitch, can we anymore?"
Yeah, and this was one of the things I don't understand how they launched the game with it still in there.
Because they've decided, oh, hey, let's push it back a little bit more so we can add in Connect. And instead of, worrying about the freaking Connect, you should have made sure your game didn't go off without a fucking hitch.
Isn't this like Smash Brothers all over again? Let's delay the game to instead of fixing the wireless problems, let's delay the game so we can add in more stickers and useless crap that no one cares about.
Yeah.
The only reason I care about that stuff is because I'm a collector. That's about it. I noticed though when I was looking through the quotes that they've been releasing about the extended cut DLC, if you haven't heard of the indoctrination theory, it's the theory that the entire ending sequence is caused by Shepard being brainwashed,
I've
and
heard that.
the quotes that they're putting out seem like you could still apply them to the indoctrination theory because they're being intentionally vague and not really giving you any information other than things you could have already guessed at.
Well, I guess it'll be fine as long as gamers don't find out that they're essentially getting, instead of three endings this time, like six different endings, but they're all the same with little slight variations, and they're all different colors.
If that's
Yeah.
the case, people will be pissed.
Oh yeah. I think
Because,
the
I mean,
biggest thing behind the indoctrination theory that is making me believe in it again right now, though, is the download is going to be 1.9 gigabytes in size, and they've spent another 3 months working on it. And the stuff they're saying they're adding into the game seems like they could have knocked it out in a month. Just put some text together, get some voice acting done, just some very easy stuff to do. But they've spent a lot of time on this, and I'm actually thinking that a true overhaul to the ending is coming that would still be in with the whole idea of not actually changing what's already happened.
Yeah, I guess even though I haven't played the Mass Effect games, whenever I really researched the controversy, the reason I kind of sided with the people who were complaining was because they actually showed. I actually had a video. There was a video that showed while he was talking about it all three different endings, and
Hmm.
they're exactly the same. And
they're exactly the same with very slight variations.
I, I under
One,
I understand artistic I understand artistic integrity because as a writer and artist myself, of course that's what you want. But if the whole purpose was like the indoctrination theory or whatever, then obviously no one got it which means that you failed horribly.
Well, actually, I think that's where, if the indoctrination theory is true, it will. A lot of people got it. There's also a lot of people who flew to BioWare's defense, and if anything, it would be some massive oh moment for everyone.
So are we saying that maybe? So are we saying maybe Cerberus was behind the entire thing, the whole brainwashing of Shepard when he was brought back into?
Now, I'm thinking, this is me personally, I'm thinking that ever since Shepard's first contact with Sovereign, he's been had the seeds of indoctrination, and while not being fully indoctrinated, it has been growing, because it would explain a lot of what's going on.
Oh yeah, the whole vision and everything, and I get it.
Yeah. But I don't know, it's a theory at the moment.
Yeah,
it's a theory.
It's a thin line to walk, especially with sci-fi. Sci-fi is, if you don't do it just right, your entire story can fail. Just one little detail, even if the end can, even if it's not getting the end right, could cause the entire story to collapse like a deck of cards or a house of cards. It's a very delicate process, and you have to have everything just right. So. Mm-hmm. I guess we'll see.
Which is why the current ending makes so many people mad. Because for one thing, that one of the creators said that ticked me off when you think about it is he was saying that the point of games like Mass Effect is that you're saving the world, or in this term, the galaxy, so that you can live in it yourself. You could see yourself living in it, or your main character living in that world afterwards. But all of the endings of Mass Effect 3 have Shepard dying. There's no way you can save him, so there's no way you can get that happy ending that this guy was essentially promising in that statement.
And technically, surprise, surprise, you're also killing the entire galaxy too, because I guess there's that entire plot hole regarding
there's logistical errors with the plot hole, supposedly. I don't know.
I think
whatever those little transporty things, I guess it was established in a DLC that if they exploded, it wiped out entire systems, and they destroyed the entire network. So goodbye, galaxy.
But what is being assumed by the people who are saying that it still works is that in the DLC you slammed an asteroid into the mass relay, whereas in the ending of Mass Effect 3, there is an explosion caused by the mass relay system itself. So maybe it won't have the same reaction.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Essentially.
So who knows?
Yeah, pretty much. Final Fantasy VII possibly getting a Steam release. Given that you can get the game on PC anyway, I don't really see how this one's a big deal. But
well, for Square Enix, this would be, hey, legal. And for a lot of people who are looking for an alternative so they don't have to technically break the law, then this is going to be an alternative to get on your PC legally.
Well, yeah, but how much are they going to charge for it? Because I can go on Amazon and get the PC version, discs and everything for $15.
Yeah.
I would say for about probably $10.
Yeah, if it's $10, definitely. Hopefully the mods will still work for it, because there's a lot of texture mods and stuff to make it look better.
But it's still one of those things where, at this point, they're kind of beating a dead horse. Or I should say kind of. They are beating a dead horse.
They're setting up for a remake, an HD remake of the game.
Why don't they just go ahead and just say screw it and make it? Don't just sit here and just go, hey, this system's going to get it, and then this system's going to get it, and then this system's going to get it. And then we're going to get tired of it.
And then we're going to re-release it in HD, and this system's going to get it, and this system's going to get it, and this system's going to
Because it's like, at this point, I just want to beat people over the head, because it's just like, I would like to get myself a HD remake of it. That would probably push me over the edge to get my PS3, but then again, I had a friend of mine tell me that they're probably not going to do this until the PS4.
Now, here's
So
another theory is what if they're releasing it on Steam? That way you can get the game files, and then the HD remake is just adding in new models and stuff, so that it's essentially a giant patch for the original game. If you got it on PC,
no idea.
it's a bit of a stretch, but that would be interesting.
And then they feel sorry for the 3DS, and the 3DS gets a 3D version.
Let's hope not.
I would hope not, but still.
For any Team Fortress 2 fans out there, Adult Swim is working on TF2 content, which I assume is maybe a new map. Most likely, though, hats and accessories and a couple interesting weapons. So I see Aqua Teen hats for anyone interested in the future.
Woot! I can totally see someone pimping out a Meat Wad hat.
Yeah, but who would get the Meat Wad hat? Given the way Meat Wad talks, probably the Pyro. No.
Who knows? But hey, I mean, it's Meat Wad.
Yeah. There was talk about this is possibly leading up to a game release, but no one's quite sure what they would be turning into a game.
With Valve, who knows?
Anything but Episode 3.
That's for dang sure.
Let's see. Uncharted 1 and 2 are getting the PSN treatment.
Yeah, they're getting that this month.
Yeah. Be nice if you could play them on the Vita through this. Hopefully they will. I don't know.
Hopefully they'll make it to where it's like, hey, DLC.
That too.
Or, that kind of thing.
Now this is the one that made no sense to me. DreamWorks is releasing a Need for Speed film that they say will be faithful to the games. So is
And
it
by
just
faithful,
going to be a game?
and by faithful they mean with more Vin Diesel. That's all I had. So there you go.
Yeah, I don't entirely know how it could be faithful to the games. Like maybe they mean faithful in feel, and that they keep the action going like a Need for Speed game. But other than that, the only thing I could think is there's no story. It's just cars being chased by police for 120 minutes.
So essentially, like the Fast and Furious movies. Got it.
Yeah.
Well, man, the thing is, like, Fast and Furious is a good series. I give it that.
And talking about games or movies that might not be good, I saw there was a Judge Dredd remake being made by a UK company, and the trailer actually looked pretty good, but they always look good.
By a UK company?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just called Dredd. Dredd.
Wow, that one might actually be closer to the comic character than the Sylvester Stallone one. So.
Yeah. The Sylvester Stallone one was good for quoting, though.
Yeah. I would say if you're an actual Judge Dredd comic book fan, since it's a bigger deal in the UK, I would keep an eye on that movie. I have no clue what it's about, but if anybody's going to pull it off, it's going to be the UK because they actually like the comics.
Yeah, one thing I've seen from one thing I noted from the trailer, though, is that not only did the female sidekick character to Dredd, it looks like she's a female sidekick character, not only did she look competent, but Dredd actually seemed to trust her as competent, which you don't see with female characters in movies these days. They're normally either competent and not perceived as competent, or not competent and not perceived as competent. Yeah, that's my reaction to it. New buyers of Diablo 3 Digital Edition must wait 3 days to play their games.
What?
Yeah, what they're saying is they want to cut down on credit card fraud and gold farming and all that stuff. So they're making it so that when you purchase the game for 3 days, you have to settle for the starter edition until they completely verify your account, in which case they will then give you the full game. And if you've played the starter edition, I'm currently playing the starter edition. There are a lot of features locked out that it's the free edition. You don't get anything.
Still, it's
Yeah, exactly. It's just not a good thing. In other Diablo news, though, they did make up for something. The South Korean players are getting full refunds on their games because they're having connectivity issues with it.
yeah, that would probably cause me to slap somebody. It's like, if I'm having connectivity issues, your ass is grass and I am the lawnmower. Especially for paying all that money for a game.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. Blizzard, I think they're trying to flush their company down the toilet because this is not making them trustworthy in the future unless they do something to make up for it.
Well, that and Activision Blizzard has that whole, I don't know whether you can call it scandal or just sheer stupidity with that whole them firing the guys that were making the money for the Call of Duty series and then suing them.
Oh, what is this? I didn't hear about this one.
The West, I can't remember the names right offhand. I know it's Westland and Impala, where they had them come. They made Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Infinity Ward did. These were the two head creators of it, and they made them at like $1 billion off the game. And then, you guys were doing something behind our back. You're fired, and we're going to sue you.
No, it gets even worse than that. Because they made them so much. They made them some money, so they said, okay, your contracts are coming up expired, and so they sat down to sign new contracts. And the guy said, here's what we want. We have no problems. We like working with you guys. Okay, I know they wanted. I think Modern Warfare 2, right? They wanted.
Yes, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
They wanted Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. So Infinity Ward says, okay, we're going to deliver that. And
we really want to make it though.
We like working with it. Basically, the contract says that they keep they kind of keep the rights to, I think, the Call of Duty franchise.
They keep the rights to the Call of Duty franchise, but they don't get the Modern Warfare franchise.
And
Modern Warfare part of it.
Okay, and the contract that they originally signed said that they were going to work on a new IP for Activision, which they intended on doing. And they actually have records showing that Activision was actively trying to screw them and get out of their contract and looking to fire them so Activision could keep more money. They have all the paperwork. They have all the paperwork saying that Activision is, playing dirty and Activision is, totally greedy. Pretty much anything bad you can think of a corporate company, they have it. So showing that Activision is guilty of all this stuff.
Activision is guilty of being dirty.
Activision essentially fired them for no cause. They said that they were essentially talking with EA, which, if you know anything about the gaming industry, other game companies will try to get other creators at different points in time.
Yeah, they're always talking.
That does not mean that they're going to switch over. And they even said in an interview with the Game Informer, they even told EA they had no interest. They liked being with Activision, and in order for Activision to say this is the root cause, then that means Activision has no grips on reality on what the game industry is really like.
Mm-hmm.
Activision
which is
doesn't.
entirely possible.
Let me put it like this, okay? When they keep releasing Call of Duty year after year after year after year, yes, people are stupid and they're going to keep buying it for $60 a piece. People are idiots. I give them that. But it's one of those things to where they really don't have a grip sense on it. I mean, take a look at Activision and their record. They had the Rock Band series, they drove it into the ground. They had the Tony Hawk series, they drove it into the ground. The Call of Duty series, they're starting to drive it into the ground. They keep releasing it year after year after year after year.
And what Infinity Ward, what they had planned on doing was after they were going to make Modern Warfare 2, they're interested in playing Modern Warfare 2, and then they were going to give the series a rest for a few years to prevent burnout and work on new IPs for Activision, and then come back to the Call of Duty series, with new ideas. Mm-hmm. and they were actually still working on Modern Warfare 2 when Activision fired them. So fired them without cause, which is a breach of contract. Because Activision refused to pay them, refused to do this, refused to do that, and they have this, so they're countersuing actually, which is smart. And then the reason Activision is suing them, this is the biggest amount of stupidity I've ever heard, is because Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 didn't make as much money as Activision projected it making. Keep in mind, this is during the holiday season of last year, which was jam-packed with hits anyway. So because Activision didn't make the money it thought it was, it's suing the people who were working on the game for them, who they fired without just cause, because it didn't make the money they thought it would.
Well, that just sounds stupid.
I know. So, I mean, it's a whole big mess, so keep this up. A lot of people, it's like EA, a lot of people are losing their respect for Activision.
No. It's not that people are losing their respect for Activision. People have lost their respect for Activision. It is totally and completely gone. If you are a legit gamer, your respect for Activision is already out the window.
And one thing I got to give it, though, is about Tony Hawk is that franchise wasn't really killed by constant game release. It was killed by gimmicky controllers that were just too gimmicky.
Still, though, just look at what,
Friendlier note, new Super Smash Bros. 2 is slated to include DLC, which hints at the fact that the Wii U will have DLC, which is something Nintendo really hasn't been getting in on.
When he says new Super Smash Brothers, he means new Super Mario Brothers, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, sorry.
Whoopsies!
Unless that's what they're really going to name the next Smash.
Yeah, new Super Smash Bros. 2. Go for
yes. So, new Super Mario Bros. 2 to have DLC. I like the idea behind it. Normally, you don't have the... Normally, when it comes to like the Super Mario Bros. Games, it's usually just the 8 to 9 worlds and then done. Throw on DLC, that brings people back wanting to play it.
And it looks like the DLC is going to be the player-driven content kind, the kind where they give you a level creator, you create your own level, put it up on their servers, and other people download it.
That's a good idea.
I like that idea. Because the thing that makes me wary, I guess, about Nintendo, even though they're one of the last ones jumping in with DLC, is even though DLC is great, sometimes you see the problem of what you've seen with games coming up on Xbox and PS3, where you were not getting complete games. They really didn't test them, and Nintendo's normally pretty good about that. I really don't want to see them go down that road. Plus, New Super Mario Brothers 2 so far, all I've seen is gold, gold, gold. We're going to give you like 1 billion lives. So I'm still waiting to see some news that will make me less wary about that game.
Yeah, what makes me happy with this is we can finally get our downloads that are the original Super Mario Brothers levels, except they won't get deleted automatically like they did on Little Big Planet.
They got deleted?
Yeah, in Little Big Planet, those types of levels get deleted pretty fast. I guess it's a copyright thing. It could just be they don't like Super Mario.
We can't have it on our servers. That's our competitor.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Nintendo's going, oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to read this one as I wrote it in the notes. There is going to be a 3DS XL.
Yep.
That's a thing, apparently.
Yes, it is, actually. 90% larger with more battery power and a $199 price point.
Yeah, the more battery power might actually be a selling point for me, but just a 3DS XL. The DS XL didn't sell horribly well, so you think they would just have put it aside.
And they're going to wait because they're going to release the 3DS XL this year, and then next year they're going to release the 3D XL Y2K13.
Okay, explain what the hell that is.
I'm just adding more letters and numbers on there, and they actually mean stuff. 2013.
Oh, okay.
I just figured let's just add more.
No, put a light at the end.
Let's add as many letters and numbers
wrong
as we can to this title, to this game system, and maybe people will be impressed.
Oh, there would definitely be people who are impressed. Those people being kids. Which is actually, I've seen a lot of people saying that the 3DS XL is a kids thing. And it's like, well, why does it have to be a kids thing?
I know somebody who has a DSXL, and after seeing the DSXL, it makes me be nostalgic for my old DS, which I actually sold because it makes that one look reasonable by comparison.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the one.
I like the size of 3DS already. It's the perfect size. We don't need it to, be a blunt force instrument. I lost something there.
The thing I have against it isn't so much the size as the original DSXL. The screen or the graphics just look crappy because they just blew it up. They didn't do anything to it other than blowing it up, so you could see each individual pixel even bigger, and it didn't look good.
But hey, with the 3DS XL, you don't have to fork out money for that 3D television you always wanted.
All right, Peter Moore, the COO of EA, believes that free to play is the future of all games, and I kind of think he's right.
Future of all games.
Uh, all probably being a bit of a blanket statement. I think there will be the occasional full quote full release thing, but he likened it to a store, and I like his metaphor in that you by downloading the game for free, you get the store, and it'll have things locked off that you need to pay for, essentially purchasing items, stuff like that, like the microtransaction model, because it's very popular and it gets your game out there. It gets people interested. If they like the game, then there's a reason for them to start supporting you with microtransactions.
I guess it depends on the type of games we're talking about here, because there's a
Mhm.
lot of games that I like to play where I don't think this would work so much.
Single player story games.
Yeah, pretty
That
much
could
what.
work, but it's one of those things to where it's.
Yeah, for a single player story game, it'd have to be something like, say, Skyrim. It allows the free version allows you to play through the story, but if you want to buy if you want to have side quests, you actually have to pay for that functionality.
Yeah, for massive free roaming RPGs, I can see it, but I always have problems with blanket statements, and I guess I'm gonna have to see how things go. Um,
Yeah, I don't think it's the future of all games. Like I said,
yeah,
there's the certain genres of games that will
yeah,
they'll have a price point that they'll release
yeah.
at.
Simple games, the some platform, certain games. Yeah, it will be the future. It'll be the way to go. But a lot of the other games, a lot of other games, no, I really don't think so.
Mm. Yeah, it just depends on the type. I think it's a good idea. The Crytek, the makers of the Crysis games and the original Far Cry, are working on a free-to-play first-person shooter, and it's going to be built in the in CryEngine 3. It is going to look as beautiful as Crysis, but it's going to be free-to-play with microtransactions. So this will be good for testing the water on multiplayer games, because Tribes is already doing it well, but hopefully they'll try something different to what Tribes does and see if it works.
Indeed. Let's go.
If this ends up leading for smarter pricing for all games, I'm good.
All right, Namco Bandai is developing the next Super Mario Brothers game.
Super Smash Brothers.
That was
We
on
got 'em
purpose.
mixed up again.
That was on purpose, dang you.
Oh well. No.
Saving Yoshi, right of Luigi.
Oh, shut up, you.
Uh,
The next Super Luigi Brothers. Yeah, but
Super
they're working
Luigi
on the
Brothers.
next Smash Brothers game, and I'm interested in this decision. Why does Nintendo not want to work on it themselves anymore? Do they not have faith in it? Do they just don't want to put time in it? Or when it fails, do they not want it to blow up in their faces?
Well, I actually did read this article on Kotaku. Um, I get this. I guess this isn't without precedent. There was a bunch of different companies that helped develop the last Smash Brothers game. So it is still being published by Nintendo. Nintendo is just letting other people help them. Kind of like Hudson kind of developed the Mario Party games. It was still Nintendo games. It just was another company was helping with the development. And if you actually read the article, um, Sakurai's company, which is How and what was How or whatever, How Studios or How Industries or whatever the name of that
House
company is.
Studios.
How Studios. They're still developing the game. They say they're pretty much still overseeing the development of the game. Translation: they're still in charge of the game. Namco Bandai is just doing all the programming and helping out,
So they get the grunt work.
essentially. Um, Plus, maybe if this means that we can get Klonoa into Smash Brothers, I'm all for it.
Yeah, all for new characters, because that's the only reason I play the new Smash Brothers game.
Hopefully, my big thing with Smash Brothers, and I don't want to get into a big thing because I figure that before long, before the end of the year, we probably will get into a big Smash discussion, mainly for the reason that there's no news during that week. But I'm going to be fine with the next Smash Brothers as long as Sakurai finally listens to what fans want and focuses on the modes that make Smash Brothers, which means we don't need the extra crap. Just make sure that the modes that we play the game for are the best they can possibly be. That everything works the best way it possibly can.
Yeah, let's go with multiplayer. Let's fix the multiplayer. Let's fix a little bit of the story that they actually kind of do. Oh crud!
I'll tell you one thing I kind of did like. Some people bashed it, didn't like it as much. While I did not like Subspace Emissary as a whole, I did like the idea of having a single player mode where you could quickly unlock characters.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Have multiple different ways you can unlock a character, but if you want the quickest way possible, a single player mode, to me that's an ideal mode. That was a smart choice. You don't have to make it a story driven mode. Just give us a mode or a series of mode where we know we can unlock characters quickly. I also like the checklist. That was smart. I wanted to come back. Only when you give us hammers to unlock things, make sure that it can unlock every square. I don't want to have to get upset because my hammer can't break those last few squares, which are boss rush challenges. and pretty much, keep in mind that the single player modes are only going to be to maybe test our game skills and unlock characters and stuff. After that, most gamers are not going to play them. What gamers are really going to be paying attention to will be the multiplayer, which means give us more, at least a better rounded set of characters. Give us more or a better rounded stage. I would accept more of both. Perfect the multiplayer. Get Wi-Fi working. That's all we ask. We don't need stickers. Trophies are nice, but we don't really need much frills. Just make sure that the main core of the game, which is multiplayer, works.
Yeah, for the story part, I kind of wish they would just try and get rid of the story, because you can tell a really good story without anyone ever saying a word. Brawl didn't really do that. Its story was kind of stupid.
And if we're going to go adventure modes, I actually preferred Melee's adventure mode, which is just running through stages and beating people up. That I did Subspace Emissary. Subspace Emissary was good for unlocking things, and then that was it.
Yeah, if they would have cut out the story mode or the story parts of Subspace Emissary and just allow me to travel through the levels, beating crap up and collecting things, that would have been a perfect thing for me. Because, like I said, I just couldn't follow the story. It didn't make sense.
Now, I did like Boss Rush mode. I thought that was a fun addition.
Mm-hmm. What was the next one? Yes, Fire Emblem Awakening, available in 2013, and will support paid DLC.
What?
I can't really think of what kind of DLC you would have for a
You
Fire
have
Emblem game. Though.
for Fire Emblem DLC. I already know that
Maps, battles.
Possible maps, possible battles, but I definitely know characters are downloadable. This is confirmed from the Japan side of things, because hey, I keep up with the Japanese news too for the game, and I know that they have believe it's Queen Alencia.
Oh, that's what you mean by downloadable characters. I was about to say, if like characters that are supposed to be in the game and you have to pay for it anyway, that would suck.
You know, pretty much what I was saying, speaking of it, is I love strategy RPGs, and besides characters, which normally I think I would have my fill of all the characters that are normally in a game. But the one thing that will keep me playing a strategy RPG is give me more maps, give me more battles. So I think that's going to be your main brunt of DLC.
For me, I'll kind of the same thing, except for Fire Emblem, I'd also like to see, say, maybe a small little story add-on. Like, give me a few more story battles, and I'm good.
That'll probably happen. I would hope. I mean, hey.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I messed this one up apparently when formatting this document, but we got the 720 document rumor. Apparently,
Yep.
this was released 2 years ago. It was made 2 years ago, saying some of the functionality of the 720. We don't know if this will be the actual functionality of 720, because for all we know, they could have ditched this project already. Who knows? But the designs have Blu-ray functionality, which just makes sense. Catch up with the industry at this point.
Yeah.
Don't even know if the Wii U will have Blu-ray, but it should, because Blu-ray's the ray of the future. Said they would have augmented reality glasses, and they even noted the Google glasses in the document, which I'm not entirely sure what you would use those for with the 360, unless you were actually putting the heads-up display, like in a first-person shooter, on the person's face instead of on the screen.
Oh, we were supposed to respond to that? Okay.
Yeah.
AR.
Go ahead.
My opinion on the 720 document rumor is most of the stuff I saw there, like in just the brief. I didn't read the entire whatever report, but most of the stuff I saw kind of made sense. I mean, you can't really say, oh, it's a document rumor, because most of that stuff we figured out was coming anyway. The AR glasses I kind of find extreme, which I hope this is just fake and Microsoft's really not thinking about this, because the last system that came out with AR glasses was the Virtual Boy, and we all know how well that went.
Virtual Boy don't really count because it doesn't really augment reality. It's just gluing a screen to your face.
I just don't think there's a lot of people who still have a problem with the Kinect, and the Kinect hasn't really been used properly, utilized properly to really convince people. I don't think AR glasses is the step to go.
No, it's not.
Not unless they do something really interesting, but that would still be specific games that would need it, like maybe a mech assault game or something.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. It'll probably give people headaches if that's the case. They have to use the AR. AR thing.
Yeah. Apparently, it's supposed to have a new Kinect. I don't entirely are they upgrading the functionality of the Kinect, because the 360 doesn't use the full functionality Kinect. So just use the full functionality, and boom, you don't need a new Kinect. Anyone who has been keeping up with the Miku Miku dance craze knows what I'm getting at there. And the big point that I liked was the $299.99 price point. And that's $299.99, not $2,900. Yeah.
Woot!
Actually, no,
that's a good price point if they decide to cram all of that.
Yeah, that's if this is true. That's a good price point. I like it. They had a thing on THQ's vice president is apparently resigning amid financial troubles. And the only thing I can think there is when someone in that kind of position resigns, it's either their fault or they're being scapegoated. And since they're not really saying it's that person's fault, I'm assuming it's that person's fault. So I'm wondering what they did to cause financial troubles.
Who knows? Probably spent more than,
Green-lighted too much money on a particularly bad project.
Well, I mean, I guess maybe this goes back to the free to play is the future of all games because there is a general thought running through. Maybe not that free to play is the future of all games, but that the game industry is going to need to change because we cannot continue to go. Basically, the route we're going is unsustainable. I think we talked about this before
Hmm.
with the way that games are being developed, shooting for mega blockbusters and pouring millions of dollars into games that may not really deserve to have that much poured into them, and maybe should have a lower price point. And so that's really driving a lot of companies to bankruptcy. And THQ has had those problems because it's kind of like this medium developer. It's not a mega developer. It's not like a small developer or an indie group. It's just in this middle of the road place, and it can't. And the problem is, by trying to keep up with all these other companies that are creating blockbusters, it may actually be digging its own grave.
Yeah, definitely agree with that.
I can put it out there like this too. When it comes to the quote unquote mega blockbuster games, things like that, mega blockbusters, you have big names like Assassin's Creed, Halo, Gears of War, etc. Those are definitely already going to be there. When it comes to new IPs, word of mouth has to get around for people to really start wanting to maybe consider buying into it.
There's
Take something.
another word of mouth is a big one, but there's another idea that they haven't really latched onto, and that's the idea of lowering the initial price.
Yeah,
That
So
that's
was
like
what
the
you
actually one
triple
of the
guys
H
things I was
do.
games get
suggesting.
$60, the like second raters like THQ they price their games at say $30 or $40, make them more worth buying right off the bat.
And also, don't spend at the idea of simply budgeting. If you don't have the money to make a certain game, then don't make that game. You
Yeah.
know, and in fact, one thing about game design, I'm sure this will come up as we go in discussions about your own little project, is that sometimes little things such as writing and design choices could create a game that doesn't cost very much to develop into a excellent game that people will want to pay a lot of money for.
Hmm.
Little touches especially help. You don't need to spend millions of dollars to create an awesome game.
Hmm. And it doesn't have to have the greatest graphics engine in the world to make people like it. Like, I just recently started playing Cave Story, which is apparently a big hit that I
Oh, I
wasn't
love
aware
that
of.
game. That's fun.
And looking at the graphics, that is a very weak graphically game, but it's got its own charm to it, which allows you to play it. And then the story, just it keeps you in. The gameplay is good. The story's good. It's a good game. And it's cheap. Good and cheap. Uh, this one I thought was funny. I had to read about it in depth to understand it. It's the Eve players had fun with the in-game economy, essentially crashing it. Um, with their newest DLC, what happened was they get some kind of points for uh, killing ships with cargo on them, and they get points related to the value of the cargo. And they found out that they could kill their own ships to gain these points as well, and they could cash these points in for things, yada yada, get more money. And they also found that they could dupe up the price of goods, go take those goods, destroy the ship they were on. The goods didn't have to be destroyed themselves. They could collect the goods and then go and sell them for the duped price and they have the points now. So they just kept doing this and breaking the economy. And then they took these trillions of, I don't remember the name of the in-game currency, so I'm going to say dollars, trillions of dollars, and started buying in-game stocks and in-game companies and just having so much fun with that. It's hilarious. I got to give it to Eve players. They are definitely way over my head.
Woot!
Just goes to show if human beings can break something, they will.
Hello, take a look at freaking NetTube. We all know he'll find and break just about anything he can.
And this random reference that no one understands is brought to you by Eddie Phoenix.
Exactly. Exactly. I gotta bring NetTube in one time at least.
It'll be a session I sit out on. It'll be funny.
No,
This
because he probably wouldn't talk very much.
Oh.
This is what I wanted to end on. I chose this to end because I think it's good discussion topic, and I can't remember who I first heard this for, but I've been hearing this from a lot of people, and I've been hearing a lot of discussion on it. Apparently, through the industry is running the thought that people just don't want single players in a game. So word of mouth or knowledge in the gaming industry is don't make single player games when you can make multiplayer games. And I want to know who started this because this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I want to find
Look
that
at the
person
sales of Skyrim. That game alone disproves this this notion.
And I don't know about you guys, most of the games I play are single player. I love a good multiplayer game. I have games I bought just because of the multiplayer, but by far, most of the games I have are single player experiences.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's just the Call of Duty
playing,
players. They're ruining our names out there. I'm serious.
It very well could be. Because right now the current game I'm playing, Deus Ex Human Revolution, might well be my current favorite game ever. And it's single player. There's not a multiplayer in sight, and I can have so much fun in this game by myself.
I'm playing Mass Effect right now. Like, I just finished up Mass Effect 2. I gotta get the Shadow Broker DLC and then start playing 3 after its DLC starts coming out. So...
I'm playing an oldie but a goodie, Shining Force CD.
Yeah, so I just don't. This is becoming the just common sense of the game industry is that make a multiplayer game if you can, don't make a single player game. But I just don't see the basis for it. I think Eddie's right. I think the Call of Duty players and the Halo players are ruining it because they're the loud majority or the loud minority.
The Halo players aren't as annoying and as loud as the Call of Duty players. If you take a look at the Call of Duty players,
They can't even let us enjoy our favorite Let's Players in peace. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Why aren't you doing a Let's Play video or a commentary video over freaking Call of Duty, you fag? I just want to slap half
because
these
it's not
kids.
fun to comment on Call of Duty. What do you do? Play through the game and say, oh look, another thing exploded.
No, it's more along the lines of you doing multiplayer, playing multiplayer, and then
the multiplayer commentary is even worse. If you want multiplayer commentary or just fun from Call of Duty, go to normal difficulties. YouTube.com/normal difficulty. They have fun on Call of Duty, and they're funny while doing it. I can't. That's all you should need.
I mean, I guess if you're maybe the people who want to see Call of Duty videos are people like me who can't really play Call of Duty. But you're thinking if you can play Call of Duty, you do play Call of Duty, which is what it sounds like when you get these really bad messages. Then why don't you go play Call of Duty with yourself with some friends? And there you go.
Exactly. Why do you need commentary? About last week, I believe, me and a friend got some more friends together for Halo Reach. We decided we were going to have our own fun, and we had more fun in 3 hours than we could ever get from a Let's Player or commentator. What we did was we all took the what's it called? Armor lock armor thing, and we went into just standard Slayer, and every time the enemy team would get close to us, we armor locked and played whack-a-mole with them.
That armor lock shit is so fucking annoying when I played it on multiplayer. Oh
yeah, it's
my
annoying, but if you can coordinate, it can be more fun than a very whimsical barrel of monkeys.
I know, but it's just so annoying.
Oh, of course, our enemies were annoyed because our clan tags lined up to create the statement, "Are you mad, bro?"
Shut up, you.
I need to find out when you play. That'd be fun. I can't play worth a crap, but man, that'd be fun to know when you're playing.
No, here's the thing.
Yeah, if you ever want to get me in, I'll give you my gamer tag. We can get on and play some. It's hilarious. I don't care about skill. I just want to have fun.
Eddie, go get Rush or go get.
I need to go pick
whatever
my Reach
the
up
game
again
is. Reach.
because right now my copy decided to go after the Xbox Live update because I had one of those tester discs. So I gotta go get Reach again.
Yeah, it's like I guess I would have fun playing multiplayer, and I don't know why this has devolved into this. But I would just suck at the game. So
That's
stick me somewhere to
fine.
snipe people.
That's fine. You're a meat shield.
That makes sense.
You're a distraction. You just run around and everybody else.
But anyway, single player games.
Anyway,
Yeah, I
I
think
we're
that's
about to wrap
really all
this
we
up.
have to say on the subject. So this
Make
has
more
been
of
the
them.
Midnight Gaming Podcast. Signing off.